Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for participating in the AAPL Liaison Connect Mentor-Mentee program. Very much appreciate your participation and can't wait to hear about how your pairings are going and how much you're learning from one another throughout this journey. My name's Sarah Latore, and I have been part of the AAPL organization for the last 10 years, recently serving on the board of directors for the last 2 years. I work at UMass Memorial Healthcare. I'm the AVP of Physician Concierge Services, where we have 4 physician liaisons that are assigned by territory within our region. And I am very grateful to be able to partner with the team at UMass Memorial Healthcare. So I'm going to start just by asking you a few ad hoc questions about how it's going in the AAPL Liaison Connect program. So anyone feel free to answer these questions, but maybe we could just go one after the next. So just ask you to introduce yourself, how long you've been a liaison, and where you currently work. Who wants to go first?
I'll start. I'm Emily Garman. I'm a senior physician liaison at Wake Forest Baptist Health in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We're a large academic hospital system that includes a level 1 trauma center as well as a children's hospital. And then I've been part of the liaison team for 10 years.
Great, thank you, Emily.
I can go. My name is Sean Sancherico. I am a physician liaison associate. I've been in my role for 18 months, and I have been at Penn for, like I said, 18 months, but I've been at Penn longer than that. I started as an intern in the marketing department, then advanced to a coordinator position with the liaison team, and now I've been a liaison associate.
That's great. Thank you, Sean.
All right, thanks.
I am Bethany Rigney, and let's see, I have been a liaison for about 18, 19 months since September 2019. And so just in time for COVID to hit, pretty much, just as I was getting my feet wet. I work with Hattiesburg Clinic, and it is a physician-owned association. It's the second largest in the country. And I'm the only physician liaison for, well, I say that. Heart and Vascular has a singular liaison, but all the other 70 plus departments and 450 physicians, I'm their person for a liaison. There's other people in our marketing department who do the graphics and the public relations and things like that. I am just only associated with the physician to physician relationships and referrals between them. Is that it?
Great.
And I'm new to AAPL.
Thank you, Bethany.
My name is Jamie Hamilton. I have been a physician liaison for about a little over 5 years. I work with the University of Maryland Medical System as a physician relations manager in Baltimore, Maryland.
Great, thank you all. And then maybe I'll just ask you to sort of pair up. So I know Emily and Sean, the two of you are a match, and Bethany and Jamie are a match. So really just want to understand from you sort of why did you sign up for the Liaison Connect program as a mentor or a mentee, and what were you hoping to get out of the program when you enrolled?
So the reason why I got into it, sorry, Jamie.
You go ahead.
The reason why I got into it is because this is very new to me, and the person who was in this position before had been gone for about 4 or 5 months, and so there was no one to really train me. The girl who is the physician liaison in the Heart and Vascular actually had this position a few years prior, and so I do get some feedback from her, but she was basically it. She was my only resource, and so I had been listening to some podcasts about the value of mentorship, and I remembered this program and thought, you know what, I need to reach out to them. I need somebody with some experience to help guide me, maybe give me a little confidence when I'm a little shaky on areas, and just be able to give me a definitive, yes, that's a good idea, or yeah, I would do it some other way. Like I kind of needed that from someone else, and someone else who had been there. And this is the only position that my director has actually not done within the department. And I just needed that. And Jamie's been excellent.
You've been great too. So I got into this as a mentor because I come from a nursing background. So I was a critical care nurse previously. And when I started as a liaison, I realized that there was not a strong mentorship program in my organization, and also that it was very difficult to find resources online. So I found AAPL, and I feel like everyone has been super helpful. It's really been great to be able to navigate growing within the profession as well, and kind of learning the different areas where you'd be able to promote or move, and ways to promote your programs. And so my goal was to be able to help other people be able to confidently articulate what they're doing, because I think that liaisons in many organizations, their work is overlooked a bit in business development. And I think that, you know, I wanted to just be able to help people articulate what they're doing very confidently as they grow in the profession.
That's great. Thank you, Bethany and Jamie.
Yeah, so similar to Bethany, I signed out to be a mentee because I'm in a position where it's something that was so new to me. So I wanted to be able to learn and absorb anything and everything. So of course I connect with my colleagues, but I'm just interested and passionate about what I'm doing. So to be able to connect with somebody as experienced as Emily in a totally different area has been a huge help to me. You know, you guys both mentioned having the confidence and, you know, a little bit of reassurance. It's nice to hear from somebody both inside and outside of where, you know, what your current health system is. So it's been great. And, you know, I continue to learn valuable things from Emily.
Well, I've been a member of AAPL, I think I was counting 8 years, and have kind of just been a member on the peripheral and not been super involved. And as I learned more about the mentorship program, it made me reflect on when I was a new liaison. And while I had a really supportive team at the time in that position, it would have been really nice to have just that true one-on-one mentor relationship to help me develop my roles. I had, 10 plus years of experience in pharmaceutical sales, but being a physician liaison was still a very different position. And I wanted to be able to give some of that experience back. And it's been great working with Sean.
That's great. Thank you all. And I've been a mentor to a few different folks in different areas of the country and in different organizations. So with another large academic medical center, and then also someone who's sort of like a freelancer. So they don't work for a healthcare system or a freestanding clinic. They work for themselves and go out and try to actively promote how they can help build a particular practice and build the referrals for them. So I've learned just as much from the folks that I've menteed that then I think they've learned from me in some cases. So it's been very helpful for me in not only learning how they operate, and especially now through COVID and, sort of what are the do's and don'ts. Some folks down in the South are out knocking on doors today where, I'm up north and everything is very virtual. So I enjoy learning from my pairings, sort of what's happening in their market and how they're going about their day-to-day business. So I find it very interesting on sort of both ends. And Bethany, you had your hand up, so go ahead.
No, I was just, you talking about people down south having to knock on doors, and I'm your girl.
Yeah.
I'm having to do quite
so
a
you
bit
guys
of that.
are out in person?
A lot of it. I mean, it's a mix, but this afternoon I'm out on site visits for our podiatry, our new podiatry location.
Yeah, and I feel like go ahead.
Nope.
Oh, I feel like for our pairing, it was really interesting because I hadn't been out in the field during the pandemic, but Bethany has been out in the field the entire time. So also trying to be supportive and figure out different ways creatively to help her promote her program, and also, cautiously do it in the times of COVID. So, and she's helped me also with coming up with ideas. So it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to echo that, Jamie. I had about 3 to 4 weeks of in-person outreach experience before COVID, and then we got pulled back in. So I had to kind of try and reestablish and continue to reestablish relationships virtually. But Emily has been out for a little while, it sounds like, and we are soon expecting to or anticipating it. It's of course up to us and up to the offices, but it's been great to hear what's been working for her during these challenging times, and gives me a little bit of reassurance about us going back out soon.
That's great. So my next question, and you guys have already sort of elaborated on some of it, but what if you could just identify one or two of the benefits that you've seen through your pairings, through the AAPL Liaison Connect program? What are some of the benefits that you could highlight to share with other members that are contemplating either becoming a mentor or, raising their hand to be a mentee?
I'd like to say, as being the mentor, even though it's been less than 6 months that Sean and I have worked together, it's been so great. I feel like we meshed from our very first phone call. And it's been so nice to see him gain confidence in his role. And we are able to discuss challenges, but then to celebrate successes that, we talked about the month prior, and then to be able to celebrate that went really well. And this is so awesome to see how he's progressing. That makes me excited. And it's been good for us to benchmark off of each other because our systems are similar. So I think that's helped me in a way that I didn't really expect.
Yeah, exactly. I think, one of the benefits is that for me, this being so new to me still, is just having another experienced person to learn from. Everyone, I know a lot of people that are physician liaison, but each one of them has a different style and different techniques and different tips and tricks. And as Emily mentioned, our health systems are pretty similar, but they're also pretty different. I'm in Philadelphia where things are pretty close. I think, Emily, you said you have to go over an hour to your main hospital. Yeah, so I have to travel too. I go out into the Pennsylvania suburbs a little bit more. So, I have a little bit of the city field, a little bit of the suburbs. So getting those tips and tricks and, finding out how she's working in a different setting is very beneficial.
For me, as a total extrovert, I thrive on connection. And since I've been in this position, or like starting off, I felt like I didn't have any real connection to anyone in the field. And I signed up for AAPL, but I also I didn't know anyone. And it's kind of nice, for one thing, to just feel like I'm connected to it through another person. And Jamie has been just, I don't know, we've meshed from the very beginning. I've made a new friend. We text each other from time to time, and sometimes it's not even work related. It may be a joke, or it may be like, hey, have you read this book yet? So it's been really nice to have that connection. The other thing is that it's just really given me a lot of confidence, where I have been shaky and iffy in a lot of parts of my job, and I'm just not there yet with the confidence. I'm not fully into myself, but she's been really good about helping me get there. And that has been, it's priceless. It's been excellent to have someone else to kind of bounce these ideas off. And she's like, no, yes, you're getting there. This is exactly what you should be thinking. This is exactly how this is supposed to be going. And then there's also just, there's some common language and lingo among physician liaisons that I'm not still familiar with. And just like the other day, I messaged her, I was like, listen, I've heard this term a lot and I've Googled it, but I want to know from a physician liaison's point of view, what exactly do you do with this? And so she explained it to me, and looks like that's exactly what I'm supposed to do after I was talking to my manager or to my director yesterday. So that's been really great.
Yeah, so
I absolutely love being a mentor. I think it has been such a privilege to be Bethany's mentor. We have developed a great relationship, and it's so cool to see how her confidence has just grown. I mean, you figure, like Emily was saying, you know, she's brand new. It's kind of like you're on an island sometimes, you know, especially I was actually talking to someone recently and said, you know, you don't know very many liaisons except for the people that you work with. And now we don't really see them anymore. Everyone's working from home or in their own territories. And so trying to navigate that can be so challenging. And so watching her go from, she had so many questions in the beginning and you could tell like her confidence was a little shaky. She's like, I'm new, I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. To now she'll come to me and rather than saying, oh, hey, like, what is this? What do you think of this? She'll say, this is what I'm doing. And this is where I think we're headed. And I think that is the whole point of mentoring someone in this role, is to get them to that point where they feel like they can confidently articulate, this is my path, this is the outreach, and this is what I want and for the organization. And I just feel like she's been great and she's really come so far and it makes me so happy. I think it's a huge blessing to be able to do this. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. That's fantastic news, and I'm so happy to hear it. I feel the same way with the folks that I've been paired with, and the same thing, you know, now it's been a while and they might just reach out via email and ask a particular question, but they have enough confidence that they're running down a path on their own. But we may text back and forth about the weather, or, hey, I'm heading that way on vacation. Any good recommendations? Or, you know, got a new puppy. What do you think about this brand of food? Or whatever the case might be. But you do form that relationship, and we are all salespeople, right? We're all extroverts. So it is about making those connections. And this is a great way to do it with someone in a similar role in another part of the country. So I'm so grateful and thankful to hear your experiences. The next question is really around sort of how did you all sort of frame up your connection? So I know we have a great guide to mentoring. It's out on the AAPL website. And I know that we've shared that with all of you, that has some best practices on how frequently you should meet, what's the time frame of a mentor-mentee relationship. Can you guys just provide sort of a brief example of how you first connected, what the timing looked like from a time commitment perspective, and sort of the length of the actual true mentoring relationship versus just a friendly relationship? If you guys can just provide some of your own sort of guidance on what worked for you and your pairs.
I know for Sean and when we first talked, we decided that we would try to connect about once a month, unless there were other things that came up that we needed to talk about in between. I think we usually end up talking probably 45 minutes to an hour, and it's very easy conversation. And like Jamie and Bethany were saying, sometimes we venture off and talk about, you know, family or puppies or other things too, but it's just nice to be able to get to know each other a little bit on a personal level as well as professionally. But during that, you know, hour, we really, you know, knock out a list. It's great because Sean's like, okay, these are the things that I've got on my mind, and we, you know, almost have our own agenda to talk through, which I think has been very helpful for us.
Yes, I think I signed up and I heard back within a couple weeks, and then, you know, me and Emily connected shortly after. But I would just say, you know, having an agenda is something I also learned, like, from Emily. Whether it's for meetings internally with my team, but also, like, of course we were, you know, talking about family things and personal things, but then it was like I did have questions. So and, you know, real life experience happening for me, whether it was personal or work related. So like the rest of the group said, having that connection has been so helpful. Having the agenda has been great. And, you know, I think the month to month conversation, you know, of course we do text here and there, but then the month to month phone call has been really key, because it gives me, it's a perfect amount of time to gather that agenda. Whenever something comes up, I jot it down and say, this is great to mention to Emily at our next meeting. So I think it's, you know, it's going really well. And we just talked yesterday about, I have something else for our next conversation.
Jamie was, we first both read over the kind of guidelines to the mentorship, and we really tried to abide by that for the first, month and a half, meeting every 2 weeks. And then that kind of flew out the window because life is busy and things get really hairy and we just can't meet sometimes. But we try to meet at least about once a month. Wouldn't you say, Jamie? We probably meet about once a month on average.
Yeah, I'd say that's average.
And we were first just kind of, I was first just going off the cuff about some things that were going on. And now I kind of have a list, like an agenda, a very loose agenda that I discuss with her at the meetings.
Yeah, and it's been nice because I think from a mentor perspective, that's the goal, is to have less frequent meetings, because you guys are learning and getting to the point where you're able to put your own things together and come up with your own ideas. So then, like, I'm a resource to you, but you don't have to depend on me as much. So I think that's been great to watch you do that too.
Excellent. And my last question really is, any advice you have for anyone considering joining the AAPL Liaison Connect program, either as a mentor or a mentee? Any advice that each of you have to provide to a potential new candidate for our program?
Absolutely do it. Either role, absolutely do it. I think it's very rewarding. I think it gives you an opportunity to network, and as we've said 1,000 times, get to know how different people are doing things in different territories across the nation, which is incredible. And it's a growth opportunity for the mentor and the mentee. So I think that you should absolutely do it and reach out ASAP.
I will second Jamie's comments. I highly recommend this program through AAPL. It's given me a chance not only to meet, an awesome liaison, and like Jamie said, to network with somebody completely outside of my region, but also it's caused me to reflect on my own liaison journey, and I feel like has strengthened my focus and my commitment within my own position.
Yes, do it. I second both of those. I think that it's an excellent way to connect in a world right now where it's getting easier, but where it's been very hard to connect to other people. I think that this has been invaluable. I just think it's an excellent resource. Everybody should do it. Even if they don't think that they need mentorship, they might need a connection for someone to bounce ideas off of.
Yes, absolutely. I would, advise everyone to do it. It's been great for me to just learn and be, like you guys have said, made a new connection. It's funny. I talked to Emily recently and told her I'm a golfer. So I'm already, I have a new friend as well. So when I go down to North Carolina, I'll be reaching out to her and for golf course suggestions and things like that. So as you guys said, this is a great connection, a great network to have, and to have a lifelong person to connect with.
Excellent. So you guys heard it first here. Everyone just do it, right? The Liaison Connect program through AAPL has benefits on both sides, whether you're a mentee or a mentor, to have that relationship with that person that you can go to, whether it's work related or not. It sounds like it's of great value, and especially through this COVID world that we're living with, and everyone is working virtually, and you're not actually able to connect with some of your own team members. To have that connection with someone outside of your own network is really beneficial as well. So go ahead and sign up today. You can reach out to me or anyone on the panel if you want further information about the program. So thank you. Really appreciate all of your time and energy in today's webinar, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.